So we'll be restoring some masks as we listen to some good African music, as we also have talks about the alignments, what's happening in the world, those kinds of conversations. It's good to be aware of what is happening in the world, so that is what we'll be listening to. And those are the kind of conversations we'll be talking about. Also, it's a Q&A. So any Q that you have, any questions that you have, you can ask. Of course, this is a spiritual page, so I expect the question to be specifically about life and on that line. I think my phone is getting good. I don't even think we are going to be done with this live. I have to find a way to cool down my phone. I don't think the phone can survive in the sun for too long. It's not sun-proof. I even have to confirm if we are still live. I don't even think we are live. Are we live? How do I even know if you are live? So it will be a Q&A, like I said. It's a Q&A as we restore the pieces of art that we have here, as we polish them. It's always good to open what you call your throat chakra. It's always good to open your throat chakra, and because they say talking is God. In the beginning was the Word. So everything is about the Word or talking. That is why the sky is blue.
So you're asking yourself if
No, we don't want any advert here. We're looking for some music and then we can start. We need some good music. Yep. So yeah, let's have we are going to start with which one? Let's start with this one. This is the first one to be polished. So now, we talk about the sun, or we talk about the moon, okay? We talk about the sun. These will be your expressions. So when they're talking about the Son of God, okay, you are the Son of God. So when you're talking about the moon, this will be the mother, the reflection, okay? So when you become aware for the first time, the reflection that you create, or what you call your shadow, becomes your moon or your macabre. Now, one of the reasons actually why we even celebrate Mother's Day. A lot of people don't even know why they celebrate Mother's Day. So around the world, you are going to hear people saying, "Oh my God, it's Mother's Day." But they don't actually understand why we're even coming up with the concept of calling it Mother Day or Mother's Day. So it has got nothing to do with your mother. Like, Mother's Day has got nothing to do with your mother. So Mother's Day, remember, what did we say? We said that the moon is considered the mother. So when the moon is at her highest peak, when the moon is at its highest, aka when the sun is at its highest, remember the beginning of the year that begins in spring, or what you call the vernal equinox. And if you don't even have the calendar or don't even know how to know this, all you have to do is go outside, and during midday, or what you call noon, or in Kemet, what you call anu, high noon. High noon just means anu. For the people who are lost in Kemet and books, high noon is what we call anu. So during high noon, or when the sun is at its highest, remember this would be at 12 p.m. The sun starts at 6 a.m., day rise, and the day ends at 6 p.m. or the day sets, rests below the horizon. So when the sun is at its highest peak, 6 a.m., that is what you call Yahweh, or the risings, for the people who like facing the east when they are worshipping. The Bantus, the people to the land of the east, the land most to the east, aka the land that is closest to what you can call that event that you call the sun. Okay? So spring, the beginning of the year, or what you call vernal equinox, or when the sun, the moon, and the stars are aligned, during that time, this happens between March 26 and April 10. This year it was April 10 because 2023 was what you can call an intercalary year. It was a year that had 13 months. We had 13 moons. A sabbatical year. So now, during that time, after Aries, the sun, after 30 days, of course, it is going to travel and go into the second moon, or the second month, or what you call Taurus, or what in the Bible you call Canaan, the worship of Baal, okay, that fire god, Baal. Now, when the sun is at its highest, this will be the middle of spring, aka when you saw the rains dissipate, when you saw the rains give you a break. The rains gave you a break before mid-heaven, May 15, around there. So just before we got there, when the rains were giving you a break, that is what they consider Mother's Day, because that is when the moon now, remember the sun and the moon, the two entities that travel together. Since the sun is at its highest during that time, its moon also, its mother, will also be at its highest. Okay? So that is when they say Mother's Day. It's not your mother. No, it's not your drunk mother. It's not your drunk auntie because she's a mother. So they create holidays for you, the sheepos, of course the people who just follow the world without knowing the reason why, to celebrate that. But when you are celebrating Mother's Day, who is getting rich? It is them. It is them who have created a holiday for you. It is them who own the business cards. It is them who own the hotels that you are going to go and spend in. The shops you are going to buy your things. Who owns the shops? It is them who own this shop. It is them who owns these flower companies and everything. So they create calendars for you to participate in the world. Each one. Since for you, you are a victim, you are born in a system. You are born in a calendar. You don't even know who came up with the calendar. I bet you didn't even know the meaning of Mother's Day. I bet you thought it was about your mother. So I bet you thought that the world cares about your mother. Sindio, now you thought, oh my God, they gave us mothers. They care about my mother. They don't care about your mother. If they cared about your mother, should be having free maternal care. Okay, they have never cared about your mother. Get that first right. Okay, you are a worker, like a bee in a beehive. Your work is to drive the economy. Okay, the system has already been rigged before you get here. Unless, of course, you are traveling in a private jet, then we can actually say, oh my God, he's got the money. But as long as you don't have that, you can. Someone is invitation to go live together. Jacobizo. Fuck off, Jacobizo. It's my life now. Go and have your life forever. So, you will never get to understand some of these things. And sometimes, you may be lost. You may be lost in the meanings. You may be lost in the meanings. You may be thinking, oh my God, that's not what it means. So I just told you what it means. So that is why you are celebrating Mother's Day. Okay? It's not because they care about your mother. No one has ever cared about your mother. Your mother is only important as long as she can vote. As long as she can remember where she got your where she gave birth to you, so that they have your birth certificate number. That is as much as your mother goes. Beyond that, your mother is dispensable. Okay? Everyone is dispensable in their world. Remember that. So like we said, this is a Q&A. I'm not going to teach about anything or remind you. I cannot even teach you anything. I cannot remind you of something that you already know. As long as it makes sense to you, it just means that now it's for you to remember. So I cannot teach you something new. I can only remind you. So that is why I say this is a Q&A. So if you have any question, life, business, or not the 5 pillars, I'm everywhere. When it comes to religion, I'm in religion. When it comes to business, I'm a businessman. When it comes to music and entertainment, I can entertain. I can teach. When it comes to education, I'm a teacher also. So if you have any question, let's hear your question. Like I said, this is a Monday. Just be restoring these pieces. Okay. As we have conversation, so let's see if you have a question. You do sculpt. Someone is like, what the fuck? What can this motherfucker do? I mean, does this guy do everything? So let's talk a little bit about this. So this is a fertility mask. So if you look at the mask, you can see that you have the really nice boobies. This is going to make even anyone in Hollywood who gives people women boob jobs to feel, to second guess. Okay, they are so well done. And it's on a piece of wood. This is like a fertility, like how you have fertility dolls. This is a fertility mask. This itself is a collector. This one I will never sell it. This one I will never sell it. This one I will never. So this belongs to my house now, but I need to restore it. So this is how it looks before I start polishing it. That's how it looks. You can see the tiny belly. Oh my God, you have such a nice belly. And you can imagine the Rift Valley, the Great Rift Valley down here. Oh, the Great Rift Valley down here. The yoni where you get where you came from. Your poto, where you came from. So yeah. I'm into arts. I'm into the creatives. I'm everywhere. I'm in music. Like I said, I'm everywhere. I'm in business. I'm in entertainment. I'm in education. I'm everywhere. I'm a real man. Real men know how to build. Okay? Real men know how to build. So let's see if you have a question so that I can answer the question as I talk. I grind my teeth while sleeping. What could it mean? That's a beautiful question. If you've been grinding your teeth while sleeping, I know you have already gone to Google. Google. I grind my teeth while I'm sleeping. What could be the problem? And of course, Google is going to tell you that maybe in your sleep, your mouth is not locked properly. Your jaw, okay? Your jaws are not locked properly when you're sleeping. It's a jaw reflex. It's nothing spiritual about grinding your teeth. Now, when it comes to grinding your teeth, remember what happens when you're grinding your teeth. Your jaws are clasped shut. Your jaws are tight together. Okay? Tuanzie hapo. The reason you are grinding your teeth is because your teeth are doing what? Are tightly cleansed. So that means your physical body, okay, when you go to your dream world, when your spirit leaves your body to go and travel into the ethereal, where you go and dream, where you don't need a body, you can dream that you are flying. You can dream about these things, but that is actually not what happens. So when you go to the dream world and you leave your physical body behind, the travels that you're having, okay, in your dreams, the kind of encounters that you're having in your spiritual world is what now is going to allow us know what is happening. First, what is your mouth area? Your mouth area is your communication, your Mercury. Let's start there. So that's your Mercury, that's your thinking, that's how you initiate. Your ability to communicate, your ability to express yourself verbally, your ability to be seen or heard. This will be your Mercury. This is what they made you cover during the that event that we had a few years ago. You know about that event that had people staying at home. People had been told not to go anywhere. That event, that is the event I'm talking about. So your Mercury, or the kind of thinking, initiating communications that you're having now, communication can vary. Communication is not just verbal, okay? Communication is not just verbal. You can be signaled. You can listen onto something. So that means that, first of all, check where your Mercury is before I even go very far. Get into your chart, and see where your Mercury were or was. There are some people who will have some empty voids into their charts. You find that they have some empty spots into their charts, like, you know, like black holes in their chart, if that makes any sense. So once you check your Mercury, okay, see what house your Mercury is in, then deal with that energy. Whatever energy that is, whatever it represents to you, deal with that energy the best way you know how. I don't know what kind of energies you are going through, so you deal with that energy. That is the best way. That is what I can tell you. Let me see if there's another question. I can't see. The sun is so hot. Let me see. What's your take on, before I comment on that, I grind my teeth, okay? So someone wants to know about Iran. So there was a painting the other day. As first of all, polish your mother. Your mother needs to have her belly and her titties polished. So there was a sculpture the other day. No, it was a painting. There was a painting the other day. And the painting was for someone we call the king. Now, you have to understand that for the longest time, the matriarch or the mother has been in charge. That is why we had Queen of England and that. Okay? It was the mother who was in charge. So these will be the sculptures that you see in the world. Every sculpture that you see in the world, every statue that you see erected on top of buildings, whether you go to New York or wherever, it is representing that. For you, it's in Kenya, it's in Kenyatta Avenue. The three men who you say they fought for freedom. Okay? That is not what it means. Those sculptures do not represent people fighting in war. For you, you have to be given a reason to think that it is representing some old men who went to war and died for nothing. No, that's a statue. Now, that statue has to have three people on that statue. Okay? One, it has to have what you call the priest, because you are ruled under religion. So one of those people has to be a priest. The three men, you go and when you're in town one day, go and see each of them who represents the priest and whatever they are representing. Then the other one has to represent what you call the queen. So since those are three men, how do you know which one is representing the queen? Of course, you know about buttons. You know that when a man is buttoning his shirt, some of his button will be on the left side or the right side, depending on whether they are female or whatever. You can wear sandals, and anyone who's clever can tell those sandals belong to a man or a woman. So it's not going to be just for you to go and see. So you have to know how symbology, you have to know symbology. You have to know that if you see a man with a white collar, automatically you consider him a priest just because he's wearing what? A white collar. If you see a priest wearing their garbs, their priestly robes, the Catholics or whoever they are, by default, unamuita muchungaji, the power of symbolism. So when you go to town and you look at the three sculptures, the three wise men, there will also be three wise men. Wherever that is how you know who is in charge of your town. That is how you know who is running you. By the three wise men in every country. It never fails. This is a group of witchcraft practice being practiced on people, okay? So when you go to those sculptures, you are going to discover who is the queen. The queen is always... Anyway, you are going to discover who is the queen. Now, the queen is no longer in charge. You all killed the queen. You all participated in her death. It was not a physical death. When you were told that the queen died, that was not the queen. The queen was not dead. That is why her body was not buried. That is why it was put in a vault. What is a vault? A vault is a place where you place something to be brought out later. Something that is of worth important, is put in a vault. So the queen was lowered into a vault as you watched on TV. The whole world was watching. There was some goats, Capricorn energy, some global ritual that you participated in. So you killed the queen because none of you went and confirmed it is her body. None of you are her coroner. None of you saw her body. You saw everything on TV. Okay? Remember that. The world is a stage. But since you killed her, as a collective, esoterically speaking, she ceased being the queen. Remember, for the longest time, the matriarch has been the one who has been in charge. It has always been the lady. That is even why in your country, you have a president, but the lady is always first lady. Sawa sawa. That is why she's called the first lady, because she comes first. Because whatever colony you are under is ruled by the mother. Sawa sawa. You are following? Now, so this is what happened. When you killed the queen as a collective, and she was lowered into a vote to be brought out another day. Anyway, I don't think people are ready for this kind of information. Let me just jump straight into Iran. So the other day, the king unveiled a portrait, a painting. The painting was in red color. Red is Mars, the god of war. Red is Mars, the Mars energy, the Martian energy, war. Okay? The god of war, Tuesday. That was Tuesday painting. That was passion, action, initiating something. The day you're supposed to start a week, let the games begin. Now, in that painting, there was a butterfly. We have heard about the butterfly effect. Na vitu kama hizo, si ndio? We have all heard about the butterfly effect. So sitaenda sana into that. So the butterfly effect, remember, whatever happens when a butterfly flutters its wing in whichever part of the world, that small butterfly wing affects the whole world, can affect the tide. You can start a whole tornado, or a whole tornado can be started by one single butterfly. So the butterfly effect was right there on the painting for you to see. So if you want to know about what is happening in Iran, get on your map, take out your atlas and look where Iran is, aka the direction. Is it to the east, to the east? Is it to the north, to the south? Now go to the fixated star, Akina Aldebaran, okay, the fixated star, Fomalhaut, all those stars. Go and look at the fixated star now. Now see, as above so below, see the intention of him being taken out. Now, also, how he lost his life is also important. Remember, birds are always watching. Okay, bird's eye view, the significance of a bird, a dove, na vitu kama hizo. So the way it has been said he has lost his life, think about the seal. There are some people who have a seal, and their seal looks like a bird. Is it a plane? Is it a bird? No, it's a plane carrying a deadbeat president. Now we are next. This will be the next one. And thank you for keeping me company as I polish these things and we have conversations. So that is what is happening. I don't want to go too much into the details because today the algorithm, remember, moon in Libra. Okay, it was done when the moon was in Libra. Maat. When the moon was in Libra, Maat. Okay, when the moon was in Libra, Maat. Kemet. What is Libra? Balance. Something has to be balanced. Judgment. Libra is number 7, judgment, where we can take a feather, okay, and place it on a scale to see whether you are fit to go wherever you're supposed to be going, depending on the program that was supposed to be happening. There are some people who have been looking for blood, and shout out to the Pluto Sagittarius, shout out to all the Gen Zs who are not even willing to join the army. because they are not even willing to join wars that they don't care about. And that is even why they are trying to buy TikTok. Okay? The Pluto-Libras, these will be our fathers. And us, the Pluto-Scorpios, there's some Pluto-Libras who are bent on destroying the Pluto-Sagittarius, or what you call the Gen Z. And shout out to the Gen Z, because the Gen Z is the game changer. The Gen Z is the representation of what we are supposed to be doing right now. Because the Gen Z does not care. It is the only generation that does not care about the mainstream media. That is why they have killed TV. The Gen Z have killed TV. The Gen Z are about to kill radio. That is why the podcasts are coming back, and the government now is moving fast to start regulating the podcast. The moment the government comes in, start saying that they are going to tax you, that is how they are going to start regulating you. It's always propaganda. Remember that. It's always propaganda. Shout out to the Gen Z. You are really changing this world. Mukae hapo hapo. Don't join the mainstream, Gen Z. Okay? Understand that your grandmother voted, your great-grandmother voted, nothing has ever changed for them, Gen Z. They know that. They know that their mother was the most religious, their great-grandmother was the most religious. They know that no one has ever seen anyone walking on water. So the Gen Z are not going to buy that crap. And they are scaring a lot of people in the world. That is even why they are trying to destroy TikTok and buy it. Some people are bent on buying TikTok so that now they can control what the Gen Z, because the Gen Z don't care. The Gen Z, you cannot even advertise to the Gen Z. The Gen Z really don't care about your advertisement. They don't care about your sportsman Sawa Hassan #1. Sportsman Sawa. Shout out to all the Gen Zs out there. Okay? Shout out to all the Gen Z. So, whatever is happening with that whole thing of whatever you have seen, you have to understand what Iran represents. Iran is not a country. All these things that we name countries are body parts inside you. These are as above, so below. Jerusalem is your heart. That is why they say that they are the chosen people of God. Okay? Raise your Israel. Israel is your head space, your crown chakra. So all these body parts, Iran represents a part of you in your body. Africa represents, all these are not continents. Okay, these are locations. America is not a continent. America is a location. So they may try as much as they want to destroy the land. They build the Suez Canal. You cannot fly from the Suez Canal 20 minutes and land on the other side. You have to go around the Africa, because they created transatlantic trades so that they can capitalize on everything. It's not that ships can go anywhere as long as they can float. The work of the ship is to float. But since they made Africa their colony, signed these what you call general agreements and trade and tariffs, which your African presidents are very happy to shake hands on. Once they are given cigarettes, that was your grandfather, and shorts to wear. Cigarettes back then, shorts to wear, and some few power called a chief. Before he came into presidents, they are given diplomatic passports, a few guard of honor to investigate, and a few guns. Now they feel like they can run the world. So they shake hands with the devil and they sell you out. So Iran, shout out to Iran. Shout out to all the people of Iran. Of course, they can't hear me. The censorship in Iran. Iran does not even know their president is dead. You should know that. You know Iran's president is dead. The Iranians themselves will never know that their president is dead. They will never know. Maybe he's even right now addressing them. Always understand that. The world is not what you think it is. To you, their president is dead. To the Iranians, their president and our address are easy. That is how Iran is different from the world. So we're in a new times. Remember that president has crashed 40 days after the eclipse. Get back on your calendar. You didn't know that, eh? Ulikuwa umesahau, si ndio? It is 40 days since the eclipse. Sasa ndio utajua si coincidence, si ndio? Si umeanza kuona sasa si coincidence. Si unajua 4 is very important. 4 ni thought, 4 ni thought, 4 ni flash. For those who watch the movies, when you're watching the movie, you're watching flash. That is 4. Okay? Or 40, depending on where you want to start it from. It's still 40. 4, put in a big space. Understand numerology, numbers. So I'm not gonna go give you too much details on that. I still deserve my channel. That is why I even keep changing my channel's name, because they track my viewers. Wakiona hiyo algorithm, watu inaanza kufanywa vitu zingine hapa. Ukiangalia I'm not actually at 6,000 followers. Ukiangalia hapo unafikia kuna wakati nafanyanga glitching. Unajua glitching ni nini? You know, there are sometimes when nainanga kwa TikTok nakuta niko na 26,000 followers. Nikienda kuangalia nakuta niko na 6,000. They denied me to make series. I cannot make series on my channel. Okay? Not because I can't, but not because of what I say. What I say doesn't matter. Whatever I say, they don't care. It's not what I say. It's how I say it. Always remember that. It's not what I say. It's how I say it. How I say it is not supposed to be said like that, you know. There are a group of men who they don't want any other person to think. They only want you to think the way they think. You have no right to think in your own unique, original way. They don't like that. They don't like at all. They don't enjoy that. They don't enjoy when you're using your brain. How dare you use a brain? You're there to work. You're not there to think. Your opinion is not matter. You vote. Your work is to vote, okay? Vote and bet for your favorite team. Be a good person. Pay your taxes. I always encourage everybody to pay their taxes. And on that note, remember returning your tax iko karibu. Start returning your taxes. Useme siku wakumbusha, Wamuthaka, you said you are in business, but you didn't remind us to return our taxes. I'm reminding you now. A few days before June, file your tax returns. You don't want to mess with Zakayo. Remember, Zakayo aliambiwa ashuke muti. So Zakayo is not in charge. Ukumbukange hivyo. Mkita mtu Zakayo mkumbuke, hakuwa anaona mbele, alikuwa anapanda mti. Ndiye mmepea serikali. Alikuwa anaona serikali akiwa juu ya mti. Si mnaona sasa misitu venye imekatwa? Carbon credit ndio hizo. Misitu yote imeenda na watu wa Arab. Si ni nyinyi tu mlimuita Zakayo, mtu wa kupanda miti. Whom are you going to blame? As a collective, you did that to yourself. So file your tax returns. Give your money to KRA. It's always good to pay your taxes. We like good citizens who can pay their taxes. We don't like citizens who cannot pay their taxes. So that now we can take your taxes and buy boats. Okay? To rescue you. When you see a river is full, but you are a blind sheep and you fall into the river, we need Sakaja to buy a few boats to come and rescue your ass, okay? So you need to pay your taxes. Never forget to pay your taxes. It is very important to pay your taxes. Okay, you cannot run away from the system, participate in the system and beat the system. Make so much money, you don't care, you don't have to pay taxes. Billionaires don't pay taxes. Make so much money that you know how your money can I'm not going to go into details. You people, you don't even take your receipts. You don't collect your receipts. And shout out to the people who are doing the gratitude challenge. Shout out to wale watu wanafanya gratitude challenge. Who's next? Who's next on my beautiful hands? Who wants to be polished? Maybe this one now. Can polish this one. Have to take the dust off first with a damp cloth. This is the damp cloth that I'm using to take off the dust. Okay, first of all, to take off the dust. And then I have this is a dry brush. This is a dry brush. I'm using the dry brush to first of all dust it off. Okay. Dust it off. Dust off the dust. First you have to dust it off. Keep all the dust. Let's see if you have any question. General Auditor alisema wameamka wakapata Someone is asking about Gachagua. You have to understand that the world is the stage. You are being played, eh? Remember, the Lemuru 3 was funded by the government. Never forget that. How do you know it was funded by the government? Because the citizen was streaming. Tuanzie hapo. Ati nimesema nini? Jenga wa Muthaka amekwambia Lemuru 3 was funded by the government. Sasa kama hiyo nimekuambia ijakupea clue what is happening, I don't know what can. Lemuru 3 was funded by the government. Why? It was being streamed by citizen. Ama waku stream. You know I don't watch TV. But najua wakukosa huko, wangekosa aje kitu kama hiyo important. Tutoke hapo. Lemuru 3 was a flop. Because the fight is not against the Kikuyus and the government. And there's no fight. The only murmurs and complainings that we have should not be from the Kikuyus and the government. It should be from the Hasra. So the Kikuyus, once again, they have failed. Instead of having a Hasra's meeting in Lemuru, but you can tell them, I said this, tell them Jagawa Muthaka was advising you people of Lemuru 3, and he had a very good idea. So tell them that I, Jagawa Muthaka, said Lemuru 3 would have been such a success if they had a person like Babu Owino. You know, all these politicians are for sale. Ask Mutahingunyi. They should have paid Babu Owino, paid Akina Sifuna, paid a few people from the ODM camp to come to their meeting. You know they are paid. Once you pay them, good. I mean, si wenye walikuwa pia walikuwa melipwa. See, they are usually fed in buses. Now, once you pay for those people, now, Lemuru 3 stops becoming Lemuru 3, it becomes the Hasra versus the government. But because Kikuyus, I don't know what is wrong with you. Now you have made it a tribal thing. Now you are going to be destroyed on the fact that it was tribal. You are going to be called certain groups. You are always missing the point because you don't think. Baby boomers, shout out to Gaido naitanga baby boomers. They don't think. Because they want to use the old energies in a new world. Okay? Wale watu, the people you have given the government, they have no brain cells. Where they should be having brain cells, they are empty. Okay? Where they have brain cells, they have empty nothing there. So the Lemuru 3 was a flop. So anyone who's asking why Gachagua was not anywhere to be seen, Gachagua is a puppet. They always play the people. You are the pawns. Okay? It has got nothing to do with him at not being in the government. Remember, for the longest time, Ruto was not in the government. Ruto was never even in, you say that he was locked out of the government, but he's the president. Hebu imagine unasema ati mtu hakuwa kwa government. Ati unajua hakuwa kwa serikali, alikuwa anafanywa madharau na yeye ni president. Ama you think your vote helps. Si ndio? Sasa utaanza kusema ninyi mlimvote. Ninyi mlimvote. Oh my God. My people shall perish for lack of knowledge. So yeah, so Gachagua is around. I met him the other day. I was in Karen. This was on Thursday. I was with Gachagua on Thursday. We met in Karen. I actually even have a video. Not meet as in me and him, no, but I recorded him and his motorcade passing somewhere. Niweka gari kando, tulikuwa na Monjiro wakapita. Watu walikuwa nasema wajui kwenye yako. Si yako kwake? Kwani ati Gachagua is absent. Absent wapi? Absent wapi? Kwa unafikiria hana kwake? He has his place. He can work from anywhere. And the deputy doesn't do anything. He has a whole office. If the whole office of the deputy is working, why do you need to see him? You only see them for politics. He has an office that has a budget, that has a comptroller. It has, what do you call these things? Secretary. It's a whole running office. Even your president is not necessary. Even your geography told you that. They told you that the president is just a what? A symbol of national unity. Ulisahau sasa Ushasahau na ulikuwa shule juzi, si ndio? The president is a symbol of national unity. Ni vitu kama bendera. It doesn't mean shit. He's just a symbol. Unaona venye nakaa before being polished, after being polished, I give it a shine. So yeah, Gachagua is somewhere having his head rubbed, or having a massage, or having his toes massaged. Okay? Don't worry about Gachagua. Gachagua is the deputy president. Like Ruto was the deputy president, now he's the president. But even when he was the deputy president, you thought he was not in government. But he is the president now, so how could he have not been in government? But you are the one who is not in government, you are still not in government. You are still not consulted when it comes to increasing prices of fuel. You are still voting. You still need a Huduma number. So if you look at it really nicely, you are going to understand that kuna mtu anachezwa hapa. Someone is being played. Na ukiangalia vizuri sana utakuta ni wewe. Okay? Yeah, if I were you, I'd be worried about what I'm building on this world. I wouldn't even care about Gachagua or whatever happens to him. I wouldn't even care. I would be caring more about, will my child have a computer? Because now in the new age, can my child code? Okay? I'll not be worried about anything else. Can your child code? When they say that your child should stay home because of the floods, because of their carelessness of not creating roads and drainages, is your child still in class online, catching up with the world? Ama mtoto wako ni wa serikali ya Kenya? Wewe ulipanda kitanda ukazalia serikali mtoto, si ndio? Kwa hivyo atangojea zile shule itaambiwa ufunguliwe, si ndio? Mtoto wako ni wa serikali Mlipanda kitanda na serikali You're repeating the same generational curses like your parents. Si ndio? Okay? It's time to wake up now. This is the age of Aquarius. This is the age of Aquarius. This is the time of I know. Okay? This is not Pisces. Dreams and imaginations. And la la land. Being lost in your dreams. This is Sagittarius. This is the time of I know. You're supposed to know now. And shout out to the Gen Zs again. Shout out to the new world. And shout out to the age of Aquarius. Can never forget to shout out the new age. Sasa, let's see if you have another question. Unaona mtu anasema ni ukweli. This phone is in the sun. Hata sijui naona aje. Love your background music. We love you too, Hissa. It's working music. Ukweli. So yeah, so I said this is a Q&A, so you can ask your questions. It's coming on nicely, Shining. Wax on, wax off. Wax on, just like the moon. Wax off. Wax on, wax off. Mr. Miyagi, wax on. Who's next? Who's next? The big man here is next. Let's dust this big man. Let's make sure he has a beautiful smile. It's too dusty. So first of all, we are going to take a dry brush. Dry brush. Take off the dust. Take off the dust. Before you use a damp cloth, take off the dust. Okay. Dust him. Make sure he has a shiny head. Stiff-necked fool. Make sure you have a shining head. Then I'm going to use my piece of wet cloth. This wet cloth to make sure now that I get into all the corners. You know, I like going deep. I have to go deep. Shout out to all the people who like going deep. I have to go deep and make sure that all the dust is coming out. Okay, make sure that he's dusted. In the meantime, ask your questions. Black cockroaches, brown ones, zebra type in the house. Any meaning? First of all, you are very dirty. The first meaning is that you are very dirty to have roaches in your house. unless of course you live in an apartment. So spiritually speaking, cockroaches like hiding in the dark. So there's a lot of deceit and hiding things in that house. That is the first, before you even go very far. Cockroaches come out in the dark. So there's a lot of skeletons in the dark around you, spiritually speaking. Okay, roaches like eating, scavenging. There's a lot of scavenging energy. So wherever your mind is at, okay, your mind is in the gutter. Remember that cockroaches will stay in sewer lines, away from the dark. Hata hizo zako kwanza nasikia mpaka ni kama ni za Masai Mara, mpaka zinakaa zebra. You even actually have Masai Mara cockroaches, eh? Those are tourists. They look like what tourists like to go and look at, zebras. Zebras have big asses. If you're driving to Nakuru and you stop around Kegio Conservancy, you're going to see some zebras with very big asses, okay, grazing around there. So all that energy of the zebra, being a cousin of the donkey, that is, unajua ndio umesema zebra sio mimi. When umesema zebra sio mimi. So now, back to your dreams. I'm not here to roast you. So, there's a lot of things in the dark. There's a lot of things in the dark. Things that can come out to bite you in the ass because they're only coming out in the darkness. Okay? There's a lot of things in the shadows, dirty things that you'd rather keep to yourself. Cockroaches like hiding and staying by themselves. So that's the meaning of your dream. If that is a dream you're having, clean your mind. Your mind is in the gutter. You're watching too much porn. Reduce the amount of porn you're watching. Remember, you watch porn alone. Nasikia mtu amegonga mlango, you are jumping like, oh my God, mtu akienda, unarudisha, unaplay, unavaa headphone. So that kind of energy. Think about the kind of energy you have to be when you're watching things like porn. Porn is just an example. You know, you brought me to the 3D, so I have to come really down to the 3D, into your demonic world as humans, where we all fell. So understand that kind of energy, the kind of energy where you're embarrassed about something, but you're not afraid to do it when everybody is not looking. It could also be an addiction that you are trying to beat, like smoking or drinking, or you could be having an affair, but whoever you're having an affair with is a dirty person. This is someone who can give you haps. So whoever you are sleeping with, somebody sleeping in my bed, eating my food, that kind of relationship where you are getting the short end of the stick. Hopefully his dick is not small, or maybe it's the man who wrote. I don't even know who wrote the dream. Hopefully dick does not necessarily mean you're fallers. It means you're getting short change, or you're getting conned somewhere. That kind of energy, maybe it's in business, you're getting short changed. It could go into so many details, but because you are you are selfish, and because you are demonic, you decided utaandika tu, hautaandika details. You just decided to give me all the hard work to decipher the dream for you. That is the farthest I can go. It would have been easier kama ungesema where you see them, what you are doing when you see them, what color you are wearing, what day, whom you are with. It could have been easy. But now take that template that I've given you. Hata wewe fanya homework. Take that template. Now do your own magic, do your own abracadabra, and you're going to figure out the message. Okay? It is you dreaming. I'm just decoding. Don't hate the messenger. Sasa, shout out to the dreamer. Shout out to the Masai Mara zebras dreamer in the space. That's a beautiful dream. Dreaming of Masai Mara. And remember, I can't look at your comments, Anna. I'm in the sun. I can't believe I threw away similar art when I was still in the Legion. The pastor painted them as demons. Shout out to your pastor. I'm very sure if I go to your pastor, he has a huge zebra wall above his head. I bet your pastor is on OnlyFans. I bet your pastor is on OnlyFans. They are making Tashar rich. Shout out to Tashar, our biggest Queen Tashar on TikTok. Shout out to her. She's very big on OnlyFans. Her content is amazing. She has a deep pussy, and she plays with those toys really well. Okay? And shout out to your pastor. He's a clever pastor. He needed a shippo, a follower. You know, they rule with fear, so they have to keep you in fear. Okay, they have to keep you in fear. You have to fear religion. And shout out to Benny Hinn for apologizing. He's a gentleman. I don't agree with him, but because he apologized, shout out to Benny Hinn. It takes guts to apologize that you have been. Hey, maybe he should give me a few of the million shillings he has been taking from you people. He can apologize, but share the money. Now he's going to retire happy because he said sorry. And then you are going to say, no man is perfect. Benny Hinn, no man is perfect. The Bible says no man is perfect. So you're all going to again to forget and go to his church like Pastor Kanyari. Pastor Kanyari talks shit on TikTok the whole night. Then on Sunday, you're all over his church. Hypocrites. Shout out to all my hypocrites in the space. We love you. We love you. We love you, Christians. Don't hate the messenger. We know it's not your fault. You are born in Christianity. Maybe even when your mother's womb, your mother was going to church. Okay, so we cannot blame you. We give you grace. Like we also given grace. We also didn't know better. We also didn't know better. Should have seen us. Chako tumaini sina. Ila chako yako bana ila ni. Nakayamba. Chaka chaka chaka. Chaka chaka chaka. Mutakatifu. Mutakatifu. Anaekuja. Nonsense. Those were the days. Those were the days. So I don't blame you. Okay? I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Oh, the dreamer is saying that she see them in the kitchen. Kitchen is all about eating. Kitchen neriko. Okay, this is how you... The kitchen is where you prepare your food, whether it's spiritual, whether it's physical, whether it's mental, food for thought. So if you're seeing them in the kitchen, like I said, your ata, clean your ata. Clean your east. The kitchen is the east. That is why when they were building the houses back in the day, you'd have the house, one door, kitchen. You go to the kitchen, there's a door in the kitchen. And that door that leads to the kitchen points to the front door. Hizo nyumba za wazungu. But the door that points to the kitchen would have to face the east. You are meant to make that door facing the sunrise. The people who are in old houses, Dawn Home, wenye wako kwa hizo nyumba za Kanjo, wenye wako Karen, ende uangalie hizo nyumba. The small door, you can go through the front door, go through the kitchen, and come outside to the back. Now, that kitchen door is facing the east. When the sun is rising, the sun is supposed to face the kitchen door. So the first thing the sun touches should be your kitchen. Riko. You get it? Ama huku unajua nyumba zilikuwa zinajengwa hivyo, usiniambie huku unajua. Aki usiniambie. Haujaijua? Au ulikuwa unajua ni penye huku unakumbuka. Sasa ende uangalie nyumba. Okay? The kitchen. When the sun rises, it's supposed to touch your kitchen first. Lakini unajua nyinyi mmesoma. Nyinyi mmesoma. Si wewe unapea tu architect kutengenezea. Si wewe ni mjanja, si ndio? Wewe ni mjanja, you are clever, you are learned, you went to school. I have a PhD. I have a PhD. Architect, nijengee nyumba inakaa hivi. So the sun never touches your kitchen. But when you go to the Bible, when the pastor is reading, the first thing they are talking about is an altar. And Abraham took his son, put him on the altar. Wewe hata altar unanga. Your altar iko huko kwa choo. Huh? You don't even know that. Shout out to all the people who know that, who when they design their houses, they do that. Shout out to them. Na wenye wamejua sasa watajenga nyumba. Or the ones who are now going to go and check into that. Oh my God, where should the kitchen face? Esoterically speaking, in spirituality, if I was a Jew, how would I construct my house? Where would the kitchen look? Where would the kitchen be facing? I want to be spiritual. You want to be spiritual? Do you observe the Passover? Hata hukujua ilipita, si ndio? Hukujua, unangojea Google, unangojea wakuambie Passover. Ingia kwa dictionary. Ingia kwa calendar. Passover 2024. Ishapita. Wewe hujui? Haukujua. The people ate unleavened bread. Wewe hukukula unleavened bread. The people did their rituals. Going very fast. They are carrying nothing from Canaan. Wewe hukufanya. Si wewe ni bora uhai. Wewe bora uende kwa Kiengei. Si ndio? Bora uende kwa Kanyari. Akusomee the poor man's gospel. Si ndio? Akusomee Job. Akusomee Noah, because Noah is a story about Africans. So wakikusomea Noah, ati watoto wa Noah waliona makende ya baba yao, now you feel like you have doing a very bad thing because your father is drunken. Now you think your father can curse you kwa sababu Noah aliona makende ya baba yake. Wewe ni baba yako. Noah ni baba yako. Noah aliona makende ya baba yake. It has got nothing to do with you. But since they know that those poor scriptures resonate well with Christians, Africans, That is why they preach them to you. Why don't you tell them to preach you the rich man gospel? Tell them to preach you what you call books like Kings. Tell them to read books like Kings. Tell them to read books like the Philip. Tell them to read you those kind of books. Why do they always have to quote Jonah? People lost in their emotions. And the Bible is so big, but wewe unasomewa, si ndio? Leo tufungue kitabu. You never open that Bible. Once you leave the church, you have never opened the Bible, have you? Never. Then you blame the pastor. Wachana Kanyari. Kanyari, chukua pesa yao kabisa and fuck all those TikTok babies. They are desperate. Shout out to Kanyari. Take all their money, Kanyari. And do all of them. Con people Kanyari kabisa. Usiwasamehe, they deserve it. Take all their money. Jenga, how do you keep your vibrations always high? I'm not always high. I have my days. I won't lie. Everybody goes through a cycle. I have my days. But I make sure that most of the days when I'm nodding my head up and down, that's witchcraft. When you are nodding up and down, okay? This witchcraft. Every day, make sure that you are nodding like this. Everything. Are you hungry? Even if you are hungry, say, no, I'm not hungry. Shake your head. Nod your head. Never shake your head from side to side. Always nod. That's witchcraft. Always be in a mood of, I agree. Whatever happens, it's for me. Nodding. Agreeing. That's witchcraft. That is why when they created the churches with such high roofs. Because once you look into the roof, to the sculptures, to the ceilings, you are uplifted. So when you're that church, you leave the church feeling uplifted because you have participated in a witchcraft of looking up, feeling uplifted. That is why the church need high ceilings. So you're always uplifted. You think it has got anything to do with Jesus. It's witchcraft. Kwenda huko. Mental witchcraft. Let's polish this man now. Let's see if it's going to be as shiny as this man. This man is shiny now. Let's see if this man can be as shiny as this man. Sindio? Now you have the routine. You take the dry brush, take away the dust first. Take away the dust first from the noses. Huko tutatumia kitambaa. Take away the dust, accumulation of dust. Okay, dust is skin. Always know that dust is skin. If you don't know that you have that, let me show you that. Do I have an injury anyway on my skin? I would have shown you that. Okay, this. I don't know if you can see this. Do you see this healing part? You see the black thing? These black things you get when you are healing somewhere. When you get injured, you like taking this off. Okay? This thing that you take off, the covering, the scar, you call it a scar. This is dirt. This is a different kind of dirt. Dirt kama mchanga ile. Okay? And this dirt does not come from your body. No, this dirt comes from the environment, your surroundings, the water you are swimming in, and it repairs you. This repairs you. This does not come from your body. This is dirt. Dirt kama hii mchanga in a different form. Ayo huwezi funzwa shule. Don't go looking for books. That information is not in any books. Okay? You're not going to find that kind of information on books. Forget books. We write books. We don't read books. Let's see if you have another question. Our kitchen is on the east side of the house and so is the small door. Exactly. You don't even know why it was built like that. It touches my 2-year-old son's bedroom. Jenga, me and my cockroaches need to drink less in the house. Shout out to the cockroach dreamer. It's good to dream with cockroaches if you know how. Kitchen is on the east side. Omode Oraka Namoaki. I don't know who that is. I can only see the comments because they are white, because I'm in the sun. That's why seminar halls have very high ceilings. Yeah, that's why. You didn't know. Because when you're in that seminar hall, you are supposed to feel uplifted. Remember, in the spiritual world, when you need to go up in the spiritual world, as a spirit, there's nothing like a direction or a pointing system. Kwani utakuwa umekanyanga wapi? For you to say this is east or west, where will you be stepping on? There's nothing to step on. There's no fixated point. So in the spiritual world, when you want to travel up, you feel uplifted. Just like in your dreams. Remember in your dreams, when you dream you're flying, you are never flying. You become flying in your dream. That is why anything in your dream can fly. A chair, a car, a stone. When you wake up, you tell me, I was flying in a stone. No, you are not flying in a stone. You become flying. So in the spiritual world, when you want to be high or go up, you feel uplifted. When you want to travel forward in the spiritual world, you feel optimistic. You become optimistic. When you are depressed, it means in the spiritual world you are falling. Okay? When you are having a regret, something you didn't do, or something, then you are moving backwards in the spirit world. Okay, that's the witchcraft. So when they build these high ceilings in the church, every time you look up, you feel uplifted because you are doing that as a ritual and spell. You are looking up, so you feel uplifted. Never forget. That is why churches have high ceilings. It's not a coincidence. Ati aki inakaa beautiful. Inakaa beautiful kwani Mungu anaingia kwa kanisa. Na mlisema hana mwili. Sometimes you don't even make sense of the churches. You're like, why is it like this? I just reminded you. Sawa sawa. Ni tango wa global witchcraft. Global witchcraft. That is why you buy. That is why you buy things. Advertisement. Fighting for your attention. Na vitu kama hizo. Ama unafikiri unanuanga juu unatakanga kitu. Hapana, ni advertisement. Your phone is advertising all the time. Okay? Those kind of information. I shout out to all the new people in the spaces, though I can't see. Sijui kama my moderator in this space. Is my moderator in the space? I don't know. So even the people who come for business consultations, wenye tunafanyanga nao logo. I saw the daughter of President Ruto rewarding people for making logos. Those logos are garbage. There's no spiritual logo. All those logos that were rewarded by Ruto's daughter, they are nothing. 5 years down the line, they will not even be working. Because logos are spiritual. Logos are esoteric. That is why you remember Coca-Cola. Okay? But Africans, munajifanyanga venye munajua. You think everything is about design. Niko na Canva. I'll just take my name and make a logo. That's not a logo. You have even made my sculpture cry.